Good greetings, students of Stroudsburg High School. Ready to learn more about SHS students? Today, our Mountaineer podcast will be featuring seniors Joshua Pessoa, Lia Parker, and Tyler Yarnall, all stars from our most recent high school musical, Mamma Mia. Could you tell us which character you played in the musical Mamma Mia and what that character is like?
Yes, I played Harry Bright in Mamma Mia. He was one of the three possible fathers of Sophie's dad. And he was just like an outgoing, spontaneous friend that Donna had, and just came back to the island to visit her again.
Leah, could you tell us which character you played in the musical Mamma Mia and what that character is like?
I played Rosie in Mamma Mia, and she was Donna's friend, and she was always by her side, but she also had a very outgoing side, and she made some pretty funny jokes in the musical, and she's also not afraid to go for what she wants.
Tyler, could you tell us a bit about your character in the musical as well?
I played Bill Austin. He was one of the possible fathers, and he was like the adventurer, rough and tough guy.
What would you say your favorite memory from the production process of this musical was?
I would say my favorite memory would probably have to be any Monday rehearsals. Typically on Mondays, it's just a lead call, which means only the lead and supporting roles are called to do a run through of our scenes or lines or songs or whatever. But it's like a more private rehearsal, and just a lot of jokes were made and just pure fun at every rehearsal. So I'd say definitely the Monday rehearsals.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like the character you played? Do you think you're anything like her?
I liked the character I played a lot because I didn't think I was too much like her. I got to really step out of my comfort zone and think outside the box to further my character development.
And what about you, Josh?
I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably say I liked my role like a 7 or an 8. It's different than what I've done in the past. So that was the cool part about it. I played a younger character than I normally have before, and so it was just different, and I think that's what contributed to me liking it more. I would say I'm sort of similar, but not completely.
Tyler, what was the environment like at the musical practices and rehearsals? Would you describe it as laid back, nervous, frustrating, exciting?
I'd say all of the above. When it first started out, it was more laid back because we were just starting and we weren't expected to be perfect. But as crunch time got closer to the musical, it was a little more stressed because we had to make sure that we knew our lines and we knew our entrances and everything, and that we were perfect. But for the most part, I'd say it was laid back and fun and enjoyable.
Leah, which cast members do you feel you connected with most while creating the musical?
I feel I connected with Natalie and Mazzy the most because we were cast as best friends, and we were already friends before the musical, but it really drew us closer through our character development to convince the audience that we had been friends for 20 years. I'd say I also connected with Tyler just because we had a duet.
This question is for all of you. Is there anyone you would like to shout out to or thank for helping make the musical process easier or more enjoyable?
I'd like to shout out the pit and the costumers. If we didn't have a pit, we really wouldn't have a musical, and they're really cooperative with collaborating with us and working with us. And the costumers made the musical so visually appealing, and if we didn't have our rentals for the end, it wouldn't look good. And although it came in a very crunched time and we didn't have a lot of time to get our rentals ready, they really made sure that we looked great going on stage.
I'd like to shout out the stage crew and the light and sound technicians because they're the behind-the-scenes people that don't really get a lot of credit. And without them, we won't be able to sound as good as we do. And they make sure that everyone is seen on stage and that all the props are in place, and it just really helps make the musical a full musical.
And I'd like to thank the student directors, Jasmine and Lloyd. They really helped a ton throughout this musical process, whether it was with dropped lines, whether it was with helping us learn stuff or practice stuff from outside of rehearsal time, and also the directors and any person in charge of any area of our musical, especially our director, Max, and Billy Kubiak. They were really like head gears in our process for developing and making sure that everything ran smoothly, and also Mr. Ride and Miss Lee for being our music directors with accompanying, with helping us learn songs and lyrics. We really couldn't have done it without any of these people.
We asked other musical cast members what their favorite musical memories were. Do you happen to have a favorite musical memory?
I do have a favorite memory. It's from this past year musical. The first time Tyler and I performed our duet for the rest of the cast, they actually stormed the stage when it was over, and it was really nice just to see how much your fellow castmates appreciate your work and show how much they liked your number, because it gives you a sense of what the audience will think of it.
Tyler, do you have one?
So during musical rehearsals, there was some downtime sometimes. Like sometimes we weren't always doing something when other people were doing scenes. And so at the end of the year, the student directors had compiled a blooper video of all the times that they filmed stuff during rehearsal. And it was just funny to see all the things that people were doing during the downtime. And it was just really great to see everything that you don't always get to see when you're performing. And it was just a lot of fun.
Joshua, do you have another favorite musical memory?
Yeah, I do. One specific one is kind of like mid-musical season. Natalie Horncole, who played Donna in the musical, happened to get her wisdom teeth taken out earlier that week. And I had planned on asking her to prom at rehearsal that Wednesday, so I believe she got the teeth out on Tuesday, and I was planning to ask her on Wednesday. However, she was not in the right state of mind to be asked to prom, so I had to wait until Friday. So at Friday, at the rehearsal, I spoke with the student directors and head directors about what the plan was, and then during our duet that we sing in Act 2, we ran through it. They convinced her that something needed to be worked on or something that needed to be changed. So they gave her fake notes, and they gave me fake notes, and I had a couple people go get the flowers and chocolate and poster and whatnot. And then we did the scene, sang the song, and by the end of the song, I had my helpers come out from behind the fake house we were using at the time with everything for her. So by the last line of the song, I had asked her to prom.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, we didn't mention she was on Percocet, but I don't think we have to.
As this podcast session comes to a close, is there any advice or insight you'd like to give any students considering trying out for the musical next year?
I'd say go for it and try out if you're considering it at all, because it's an experience you won't regret, and you'll also never get something like this that we had this year. We had such a great bond, and we made so many new friends, and it's something that I'll never forget.
I say definitely do it. As an athlete, it's very different from anything I've ever done before, but it's such an amazing experience, and like Lia said, the bond you create with all the people around you, it's just a great experience to be able to perform in front of so many people.
I would also suggest that you go ahead and try out. Make sure you're prepped and everything so that you're good to go for your audition. But I'd say, yeah, do it. It's worth every hour of time that you spend putting into it for 3.5 months. And you just can't regret doing something. Even if you don't love it, initially you'll end up loving it and missing it by the end of it. So I'd say just appreciate it and make the most of that moment.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for your time, guys. You've heard it. We'll be back again with more of the inside experiences within Stroudsburg High School. Remember to visit our website, shsnews.org, and follow us on our social media accounts listed in the description below.